Welcome to today's comedy episode. A Zhen had stationed people at supermarket exits/entrances. A lackey stopped the mysterious car with black money by recognizing its plate. Poor Zhen radiated an aura of misjudgment. He and two half-wits cleverly fooled a Zhen with fake license plates. They left with $10 million. Then, Fat Big got a call about a hospital break-in by Domu, who barged into the surveillance room. He forcibly deleted surveillance footage showing Little Lushy hiding in a medical waste truck. That truck was soon headed for a disposal site, and meanwhile, Domu was already on the way too. Little Lushy jumped out of the truck just in time to see Domu driving over. He bolted into the medical waste facility, playing a game of tag. You're it. At this point, Qiang and Qiang also arrived, all three shouting Lushy's name simultaneously as if practicing for a choir performance. Without exchanging words, they dived in. Lushy watched like a theatre-goer. Qiang was cornered. Domu, armed, charged like a rabid dog. Police sirens blared, enhancing the drama. Domu realized he couldn't take Lushy with him anymore. After knocking Qiang aside, he hurriedly fled the scene like he was running a marathon. Qiang called a Qiang, sneaking away from colleagues to drive for a meet-up, only to be greeted by Qiang as soon as he arrived. Qiang mumbled sorry and hugged Qiang tightly. Meanwhile, Little Lushy whipped out a syringe, aiming at his thigh. Qiang fainted before figuring it out. Awakening, he was tied to the sofa, feeling like ketchup. Qiang asked what they wanted. Lushy's demand was simple: no arresting a Qiang until this whole mess is sorted out. Qiang stated had already been suspended and had no enforcement power. Lushy looked thrilled, feeling like he'd found the perfect chess piece. A Qiang is indeed a clever guy, but we're even smarter. At Banjai Company, Zhen handed over his photo and greeted the two hapless fellows, telling them he had to catch a flight out of the country in a week. Just as Zhen finished giving money, Zhen arrived with his crew and swiftly sent the two to the men per milk tea shop. Zhen pulled out wads of cash for luxury goods and the fanciest hotel, truly living like a rich guy. The hospital nurse called to say that Sai had woken up. Faced with his daughter's hopes, Zhen didn't hesitate to hang up the phone, but little Sai was out of the hospital and her parents were nowhere to be found. The next day, Zhen received a call from his boss, inquiring about the sweetness of Mengpao soup. Zhen begged his boss for a 2-day extension, saying he had the director quiz information. Once the call ended, tech guy laid down the law, telling Zhen that the Sapphire USB was device-bound and no one could access it. Zhen recalled the video Lady Q is seen using Director Quiz laptop. But the question is, where's that laptop now? Meanwhile, Xiaoyan was watching a bizarre scene unfold before her. The kidnapping turned into ridiculous service, with Lushy saying she was hungry. As Qiang said she had no money, and Lushy's gaze instantly shifted to Xiaoyan, indicating she had some critical intel. Xiaoyan buys her and a Qiang dinner. She'll offer a lead that could help Xiaoyan climb the ranks. But Xiaoyan wasn't interested, she just wanted to crack this troublesome case. The three went to a bustling food stall, and halfway through the meal, Xiaoyan asked Lushy what information she had. Little Lushy stated that the incident involving Director Q didn't happen on May 21st, but rather on May 20th. Because on the night of May 19th, Director Q had used her in an experiment, and by the time she woke up, it was already May 21st. Director Q had never left her unconscious for 2 days, so there was only one possibility: he must have been dead by May 20th. After finishing the meal, Qiang begged Xiaoyan for one more day, hoping to see his daughter and Zhen. Although he had stood her up last time, Xiaoyan chose to trust Qiang once again. Lushy suggested she wanted a beef burger tomorrow and reminded Qiang to bring takeout back. Night soon fell, and Zhen arranged a meeting with Domu at an old, dilapidated swimming pool. He poured a drink for Domu, who elegantly accepted the cup and took a small sip, but then Zhen suddenly turned and said he was tired of Domu's gloomy presence. With things like this happening, someone had to take the fall. Domu suddenly felt dizzy. Zhen immediately raised his gun and fired, taking him down. He wasn't easy last time. Domu gripped his knife and charged at Zhen, but within 3 steps the gun was fast and accurate. In the luxury hotel, Zhen gazed at the beautiful night view, sighing about the good life of the rich, when suddenly the doorbell rang. It was the bank manager, and Zhen deposited millions into his overseas account. As soon as the manager left, Qiang called to meet him at their old haunt the next day. The next day, Zhen arrived at the welfare institution where he had lived as a child. Memories flooded back as he pushed open the chapel door and took a seat. Qiang was here today for just one question: did Zhen really kill Director Q? If I answer, will you truly believe me? Zhen instantly comprehended the reason why Qiang had invited her here. When he was a child, the priest once said that those who tell the truth under the cross would be forgiven. Those who tell lies would be punished. Qiang mentioned that his prayers had once received a divine response. After Zhen was adopted by the old director Qiang, he prayed countless times for Zhen to return. 3 years later, Zhen indeed returned to the old director. Nowadays, he still prays for Zhen, but the answer was no longer important to him. The two left the chapel, and Qiang drove Zhen to the hospital. He had threatened his wife to take good care of Zai. The video on the hard drive would never see the light of day. Otherwise, Qiang didn't continue his sentence, remaining silent. Zhen had been swindled $10 million and was fleeing abroad. Qiang returned to Xiaoyan's, hearing Lush's complaints on arrival. "Why didn't you bring a burger back?" Qiang could only say he forgot. Xiaoyan then made a call to summon Fat Big over.